Verbal Acid by Jeremy Void. I am a disease, a villain on a tightrope, flexing my guns as I run through the sky, and the tightrope snaps. Where do I begin? I met a girl. She was gorgeous, unbelievably so. I was 16 years old, and I was in love. Math class, a pop quiz. Well, not so much as a pop quiz, more like I had forgotten to study. The teacher slaps it on my desk, as my mind was preoccupied with that girl I saw stepping out of her car outside. I picked up my pencil when I heard the door open, a subtle noise but loud enough to alter my point of focus. There she was. It was as if the door opened to make way for the smoke that was billowing through, with flashes of light, lightning flashes, thunderous and mighty, striking, flickering amid the smoke. My eyes were locked as I saw her come through the smoke, just materialized before me. She wore fishnet tights, a tie-dye skirt that flapped briskly above her exposed knees, poking through holes in the fishnet. She had on a tie-dye shirt, a black vest, and a series of hemp bracelets loosely fastened to her wrists. Her hair was worn loose and it flowed behind her as she strutted through the smoke screen. She danced into the room. Her smile struck me dead. Her eyes brought me back to life. She saw me there, I know, only she didn't seem to care. If anything, she was pleased to see me staring. Her eyelids, black with mascara, flittered about as she strutted to the center of the room. Center stage. The spotlight was on her. Mr. Ingram said, "This is Blossom." Like a rose, he added. Blossom. The name rang in my ears like an angel whispering from the heavens above. She reached up and brushed her hair behind her ears, smiled, and with a curtsy she strutted to find a seat. Beside me, no less. She crossed her legs, looked at me, said, "Hi, I'm Blossom," held out her hand. I took it in my own, limply. She shook at that hand, which just rested in her grips like a corpse in a coffin. She released it and it fell straight down beside me, dead and limp and dull. I started to say. Jack. Nice to meet you," she giggled and looked away. I was in love. I saw her after school. She was getting in her car and she saw me staring, smiled and slid behind the wheel. Her car whirred to life and then she was off down the road. Fast forward. We spoke a few weeks later at lunch period. She approached me, said, "Can I sit here? You mind?" I nodded, said, "That's fine." She sat beside me. "Jack, right?" "Yeah, Jack. You want to hang out sometime?" It caught me completely off guard. "Uh-huh," I said, nodding slowly, expecting the catch that would surely come. "You ever done acid?" And there it was. Of course. "Yeah," I said. She tapped my nose as if pressing a button. "Meet me outside after school." Then she stood up and walked away. What just happened? It was unreal. Things that magnificent don't happen in my life. Fast forward. Then time went by. She and I hung out together for a while. We were a young couple madly in love. We were struck, wrapped in a blanket of love. We did everything together. She loved acid, really loved this stuff, and I was beginning to love it too, until I lost my freaking mind. I was writing a novel on the walls of my bedroom. I was surfing on acid, on magic mushrooms, riding the waves of oblivion, the pen crossing the walls as I scrawled word for word, sentence for sentence, everywhere on every surface, on every surface, on every surface. The door was locked. Nobody could get in. And then I heard the knocking, the banging, the racking of a fist on the polished oak wood door. It startled me out of my stupor, out of my high. I dropped the magic marker. I traced its descent as it plummeted to the floor, leaving a trail of wobbling, transparent pens in its wake. Then it hit, bounced with a loud clunk, came back down, wobbled, stopped, dropped. Knock, knock, knock. I stopped everything. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. Knock, knock, knock. My eyes did a sweep of the room. For what if it was the police who were out there? An army of armed soldiers waiting to mow me down with a barrage of bullets. I couldn't take my chances. Sweat stung my eyes. Knock, knock, knock. "Who is it?" I squeaked. "Blossom," the voice said. "Who?" "Blossom. You know, Blossom. I don't know any Blossom, I barked. The door shook and pounded. I heard the ghost swirling in the walls, and I was scared. Jack, this isn't funny. Open up. Everybody's worried about you, Jack. Please, open up. I don't know any Jack, I said. Jack, come on. Jack no live here, I said, raising the pitch of my voice. This is Andrea's house. Andrea's house. I know no Jack! Jack, please, I'm so sorry. I never should have let you have any acid if I knew this is how you'd react. Then I laughed. I laughed. I laughed. I laughed. I laughed loudly and, Jack, please, I could hear her crying. I pressed my ear to the door and listened to her sobbing. Jack, she muttered, more to herself than anything. Oh, Jack, I love you, she said softly to herself. I plopped on my bed and started to cry as well, buried my head in my hands and cried, looked up at the writing on the walls. Jack, you are going crazy. Jack, you are losing your mind. Jack, Jack, Jack. Somebody help me. Please help me. I don't know what's going on. Everything's distorted and I can't feel a thing and I'm losing my humanity. Help me. Jack, honey? It was my mom. Mom, I said. Jack, we are going to get you help. Jack, please open the door. I lifted my head. The tears turned to blood and dissipated. They floated and swirled and stung and bleeded me blindly. The whole room flashed red as a blast of thunder shook the walls. Everything was falling on me. I stood up and went to the door, dodging the plummeting bricks. It took longer than I expected. One moment I stood at my bed, and the next my whole body stretched like a slinky and retracted as I flashed forward and I opened it and stepped out into blackness. I was immersed in darkness. I am a disease, a villain on a tightrope, flexing my guns as I run through the sky. The walls pound, 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 as I hold on for my dear life. I stand on the building's edge and leap into a swan dive, plunging into blackness, the black beyond, black oblivion. Stay tuned for more madness to come. It will blow your fucking mind. Stop, stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Stop! I wake up gasping, sweating, thin rivulets of sweat oozing down my skin. Where am I? The walls are white and I can hear the sounds of snoring. I stand up and go to the only door in the room. Turn the handle. It's locked, stuck, jammed. I twist it and it only moves an inch. Jack, Jack, do you hear me, Jack? I can hear you, I say. Good, Jack. Do you know where you are? I shake my head. No. Jack, you are in? The voice cuts out and I am alone.